Hey guys, hopefully you have made this foldable. It is the Solving Quadratics Equations foldable, and for the next 5 videos we're going to be doing the examples, and then I'm going to have you do the practice problems. Okay, so we're going to start out with this example here. And I've written it on the big board so you're able to see it. Sorry about the glare. I'll try to work around that. We're going to start off by drawing a box, because we're going to use the backwards box method, and a T-chart so that we can write some factors down. Now this is our trinomial, and here's standard form of a trinomial: ax squared plus bx plus c. So the 2 is the a, the negative 11 is the b, and the c is negative 6. Okay? First we're going to put numbers and letters into the box that we know go into the box. If you watch the video on the box method, you know that the 2x squared goes in this box and the negative 6 goes in this box. And then we have to do some work to figure out these two. And we do that by finding the factors of a and c. A is 2, c is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. So we're going to find the factors of 12. Now, a quick way to find factors if you're not good with math facts is to go to y equals in your calculator, type in 12 divided by x, and then second graph. And that will give you the table of values, a table that we're about to make here. And you'll see that 1 and 12 are factors, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and then it'll start to repeat. You'll get 4 and 3. Now you know that you're done. These are all of the factors of 12. There's some decimals, but we're not going to play with those. Now, we are trying to arrive at b, the negative 11. Which set of factors will add or subtract to give you a negative 11? Well, you can do 12 and 1. So here are our winners. And which one needs to be negative in order to make a negative 11? Well, the 12 has to be negative because it's the bigger number. So we're going to put a 12x there and the 1x there. Now we're ready to find our factors of the trinomial. Let's see, working around the glare there. Okay, so let's do this first. We have a negative 6 and a negative 12x. What factor do these two numbers have in common? Well, it's 6. And since this 6 is touching this box and this box is negative, it's a negative 6. Let's do these two. 2x squared and 1x. What number do they have in common? What factor do they have in common? Well, it's 1, of course. And we're not going to write 1 because we don't have to. But what about the x's? How many x's can I get out of this? Well, I can only get 1x. So x goes on top. All right, let's do this side here. We have 2 and 12, and then we have x squared and x. When we know we can pull out an x, and the greatest factor that we can pull out is 2, because 2 will go into 12. This box is positive, so we know that's going to be positive. And 1x and 6. What is the greatest common factor between 1x and 6? Well, it's 1. And since this one is positive, that one is positive. All right, now we have our factors. Now we're ready to write our little binomials. So we have 2x plus 1 and x minus 6. Now we solve. So this is all review, right? You have done the factoring before. So now we're going to take these two factors and solve for x. Here's where the zero property comes into play. When you solve a quadratic, let's draw a little graph. You don't have to draw this graph on your foldable because we're going to solve by graphing later. But when you solve a quadratic, you're really finding the roots. The roots are where y equals 0. It's on the x-axis, but the y value is 0. So that means to solve for x, I can set everything equal to 0. And you know that anything times 0 is 0. So if I set this binomial equal to 0, I can solve for x. And then I can set this binomial equal to 0 and solve for x. So let's do that. So first we have 2x plus 1 equals 0. And then we have x minus 6 equals 0. So to solve for 0 here, we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. Those ones, they cancel out, and I'm left with 2x. And 0 take away 1 is a negative 1. And then we're going to divide by 2. And x equals negative 1 over 2. All right. And now this one. So we're going to add 6 to both sides. And x equals 6. So here's my solution set. Negative 1 over 2 and 6. Okay? That's solving by factoring and using the zero property.